hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. You are now in the den. So, guys, this is my review recap for Godfather of Harlem, Season 3, Episode 3, Mecca. Child, we got Malcolm X. He on his journey to Mecca getting detained by the Saudis, all right? He getting mixed up, a little mistaken identity for Muhammad Ali. He is seeing things through a whole new light, through a new lens of what this world could be. In the meantime, Bumpy over here having a toast, child, celebrating salute, okay, until this uniting of the black and brown, getting down and dirty with Jose Battle, a.k.a. Mr. Cuban. But did he make a mistake? Because Mr. Cuban out here asking for favors, y'all, okay, and we getting lies, deceit, foolery, CIA reporters, mishits and political assassinations. Bumpy says he's a man of his word. If he says something, his word he gonna keep. So, did he make the right decision joining with Jose Battle? Sometimes they say it's better to stick to the devil In the meantime, Mamie out here catching strays because of who she's married to. We got the district attorney targeting her. Her job could be in jeopardy. Lord, y'all, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? Okay, let's get into this episode and take it from the top. So, of course, we start out the episode with Bumpy having this toast, We got the daggone three wise men, a.k.a. the three bankers there to collect some money. They looking happy now. They talking about, wow, you came back in full. You giving us more than what we even knew we could have, all right? Everybody is smiling except for Charles, y'all. Of course, Charles is still old grumpy Charles and complaining. And I don't know how long that's going to last, He talking about enough of the toast. Let's get down to business. But, we got Jose Battle telling them, money brings more money, all right? That is the saying that he knows. And Bumpy says his saying from his Geechee ancestors is we don't want to have a cracked pot when we trying to keep it full. So we got to make sure it stay full. Now, when we get downstairs, they say it's 950. They like, whoa, okay. Damn, this is even more than what you gave us last week, And they like, well, you could keep on expecting more and more and more and more. Charles still over here talking about this guy got a gun out. I told you I don't want to see no guns. If I see another gun, then I won't be back again. Okay, Charles, bye. You making money out of this. You want the money, but you don't want what comes along with it. You want to act like you're better than, the situation that you're in. So it's like nobody ain't begging you to stay. And honey, if you keep on yapping, you're going to see more than daggone guns, okay? You're going to see a bullet coming through your damn brain. Joe Battle actually pulls Bumpy to the side and says, well, Jose Battle, I should say, actually pulls Bumpy to the side and says, yo, if he keep yapping his daggone lips, that's going to be it with him. I'm not going to take too much more of him giving me these dirty looks. And Bumpy tells him, don't worry about it. Yeah, he could be a bit of a pain in the behind, but he have him under control. Now, he asks Bumpy for a favor. He tells him, your problems have became my problems, and I hope your problems become mine, I hope my problems become yours, I should say, right? Because if we're supposed to be partners, this is a part of it. I said, see, Bumpy, you should have sat down and talked and figured all this stuff out beforehand. Because now we getting a little bit too much added in here. Now, he sits him down and shows him this picture of his sister and her family. He's saying, you can't tell from this picture, but she was actually pregnant. Apparently, because of how he wants to come at Castro, they targeted his family. And so his sister and her kids was actually taken back out in the backyard, tied up, child, and executed while the husband was inside the house, tied up and had to watch. So he says, this is supposedly the man that killed them. He shows Bumpy a picture and says he's in New York, and he wants Bumpy to not only get him, but take him out, all right? He was saying, they originally thought that he was in Spanish Harlem, but now they think he's in Bumpy neck of the woods. So Bumpy is like, I'm sorry to hear that. And he says he got it. He gonna hold it down. He gonna do what he gotta do. All right. Now, Malcolm gets to Mecca and they giving him a little bit of shade. They saying, nope, this paperwork ain't right. You should have made sure and checked everything before you came here. And they done locked him up, okay? Got him all locked up. He asking for water. They ain't trying to give him none. This guy that was in the jail cell with him actually offers him a piece of bread. He asking them, do they understand English? They say no, but they understand Muhammad Ali. And they begin to think that he's Muhammad Ali. And he keeps trying to correct them, but it's like, hey, okay, y'all want to think I'm him? So be it. Now, In the meantime, Mamie gets freaking, a subpoena here at daggone Adam Clayton's office. He talking about some, oh, did Christmas come early? Are y'all dropping us off a gift? And they saying how good she doing, and we got this report that Adam Clayton is reading out of the paper. But no, he want to see her at the house. So they was like, this is not good, right? This district attorney, we got to find out what the heck this is all about, what he want to talk to you about. And so, in the meantime, we got Bumpy telling Chance and Nat about this hit they gotta do, and they like, yo, why we gotta do dirty work for daggone Battle for? And he says because he helped us with Joe Colombo, so when he needs us, we gonna be there for him. All right, y'all go ahead and find this guy, take him out, and that's that on that. So they say, okay, we got it, no problem. Now, and we get back to daggone Malcolm. He over here sweating bullets, asking for water. They ain't paying him no mind. We seeing Mamie stressing out, telling Bumpy about what's going on and how this district attorney wants to talk to her. And he's like, whenever you getting into, a better place and a position of power, that's how they are. They come after you. Don't worry about it. Your profile has just been raised and you know that. You stressing over nothing. And she's like, I guess so. He was like, it's probably just, power that they want to talk to you about. And so she was like, this is a way for them to derail the voting rights bill. And he says, look, just go talk to this guy Pike. It's no big deal. Make it do what it do. She says, okay. He was like, there's nothing wrong. You ain't got nothing to hide, so you gonna be okay. He gives her a hug and a kiss. I said, all right, Bumpy, because I wasn't too sure if they was coming about the daggone robbery. That's what I was thinking at first, okay? So, we move on from that or whatever, and we have Colombo taking Stella to this apartment that he done got her, right? He's saying, oh, all we need is a little bit of wallpaper, some furniture, you gonna be good. Of course, Stella's still trying to give him a hard way to go. She is basically like, yo, you really trying your best to just, keep your daggone sights on me and keep me connected to you. She was like, the first chance I get, I'm trying to get the heck up out of here, get away from all of y'all. She says, how you know it's not my father that put out the hit? And he was like, why the heck would your father put out a hit when, he's here basically trying to have me protect you? So she says, she needs a job as well and wants to go back to school. He said, well, school could wait, okay? We ain't gonna think about no school right now. But as far as the job, I can give you a job working with me, come on with me. So, of course, Stella giving him the side eye. Now, we have the doctor come on in to talk to Malcolm and say, you're gonna have to wait and you have to get, into the international press. He was like, I'm sorry that you didn't have the right information and you didn't know the way to go. And, that they basically giving you a hard time. I really do apologize for that. And so first Malcolm got up and thought that he was about to get ready to get out of there. And then he says, no, they have to have this petition put in Sharia on your behalf. Even the royal family has stepped up. You called a bit, bit of a ruckus here. Everybody's talking about it. And so Malcolm is like, okay. And then he sits back down because he ends up telling him that, he's going to have to wait a couple of days until that can happen. But then he tells him that, no, you don't have to stay here, even though you can't go back to your hotel. You're actually going to come back with me and stay at my house. And then Malcolm is like, your house? And he says, yeah. Malcolm tells him he's never been invited to a white man's house before. So it's like, okay, well, this is your first time. Okay, it's the first time for anything. So he go ahead with him right now. In the meantime, we got, this district attorney come and sit down and talk to Mamie, and he talking about dirty money. And they said, well, do you have any proof? Oh, well, I find it strange, the connections that, Powell was having with this wife of this convicted felon. And what I'm saying? And it's so close to such an important program. Why would y'all even risk that and have somebody like that affiliated with it and all this, And so Mamie was saying she resent that, and they were saying she does great work. And he was like, well, that may be, but anything that I find, if I can prove that it's anything illegal associated with her or her husband, she gonna basically be up out of here and the program will be shut down. And of course we don't want that, right? It's like they gonna use any excuse to try to find a way to shut it down any daggone way. Now in the meantime, Stella gets back with Colombo and he's saying this is an easy gig. You basically would just take messages, open the mail, order lunch, message, answer the phone, secretary. That's what she was looking for anyway. But she's like, yo, you just want to do anything to keep me here. You want to keep me a prisoner forever. She was like, the first chance I get, I'll go walking out. So he was like, look, you need my protection, bottom line. Can't we just make this easier and we all just get along, right? This is what your father want. And she was like, well, no, my father has just wanted to control all my life all the time. Even from jail, he's still controlling it. He's like, no, he wants you alive. And then so we're 100% sure that you don't have no other threats. Yeah, you gonna stay here with me and I'm gonna make sure that no harm comes to you, right? It's my job to keep you safe. So she says, well, okay, I'll take the job, okay, but this job ain't free. I expect to be paid for my daggone job. I said, I know that's right, as it should be. So he says, well, we could talk about the salary over dinner. And she was like, dinner? Like, you know what I'm saying? You just don't stop. You got some balls on you. And he basically was like, well, you got to eat sometime, right? Like, you never get hungry. You don't eat. And so it's going to be dinner with them. Now, in the meantime, Nat and Chance is in this car and they are looking out to see this guy that Battle wants taken out, right? And they like, are you sure that he basically saw the right person? They saying how one of his eyes is messed up. I think the guy name was Pinky that told him he was here. And so Nat over here talking about well, when one eye get bad, the other one gets stronger. He was like, where the hell do you be getting these sayings from? So he was saying that, oh, it do look like him or whatever. Maybe he did see right because they comparing the picture excuse me, with the guy that's walking down the street, and they like, yeah, that is him. So he says, you want the 22, and he was like, Junie's 22, and he said, yeah. He says, no, that's messed up. That actually, jams up. So he says, take the Luger from the glove compartment. Child, the next thing you know, he talking about, okay, they following him down the street slow or whatever, and they see it's a crowd of people, so they said they gonna wait till when, they get a clear people and it ain't no witnesses. So when the guy turns the corner, he got him jumping out the damn car, chasing after got the guy, talking about, hey, he looks dead at him, and he took the wrong gun. Nat sitting there bumping the horn, telling him wait, trying to get his daggone attention, but it's too late. So now when the guy turns around and he ready to shoot him, he's basically got the daggone 22 that is jamming, that don't have no daggone bullets in it, and he's sitting there trying his best to fire it 3 times, and it don't. And basically the guy gets away, and so of course Bumpy gonna be pissed as hell about this, right? Now back inside of Mecca, child, where Malcolm is at, him and this doctor is sitting down, they eating, they talking, and Malcolm just keeps telling him like, oh, it's not no white and black mixing, right? We do things separate. When he want to say a prayer, he's like, no offense, you know what I'm saying? I don't mean to offend you. I appreciate what you've done for me and all of that, but we keep these things separate, right? White people have been keeping us in bondage and doing, all these different evil things to us or whatever, so we don't, mix it up or whatever. And the guy was telling him that he liked the part of his speech where he said, we don't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. And he says, well, I'm glad it amused you, And he just was looking at him confused. And he was like, well, my understanding is that you wish to start your own country back in America. And he was like, with just black Muslims. And so Malcolm was like, yes, that's one solution. He was like, the racism problem cannot be fixed, but if we have separation, that might be a good alternative. And so the doctor's asking him, why is that? And he was like, we were taught to speak the white tongue, to follow the white God, worship the white God, accept the white man as being superior. And so he was like, they don't want the Negro to have nothing. It's basically like an ex-slave entering the slave master's house. And so the doctor's like, I see. So he was like, so there's no good whites in your country. He was like, well, you have some liberals, but they're just basically political, hypocrites and using the Negro as a token or whatever. So the white doctor tells him like, well, it seems to me that you are the racist in your own fashion because you are judging people by their exterior appearances. So, Malcolm is a little taken aback by this. Like, what are you talking about? Okay, no, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Now, in the meantime, you got Mamie and Elise talking in the kitchen or whatever and reading a letter that Margaret wrote, and Mamie is like, oh, that's good. And she's cutting up these carrots and she ends up cutting her finger. So Mamie is coming, basically giving her something to wrap it with, and she's saying how she just not herself right now. Now I love how Mamie and Elise's relationship has grown. Of course, Bumpy ends up walking in, and Elise tells her she's gonna go get her band-aids. So when she walk out and Bumpy walk in, she's like, "Oh, it's nothing. I'll just cut my finger, or whatever." And she tells him like, "Okay, the district attorney did not want to talk to me about, Adam Clayton Powell or anything else. He wanted to talk about you and the foolishness that you be into, and the fact that you done made this daggone deal with Jose Battle, and now it's coming back and backfiring on me." And Bumpy basically says, "Well, I don't know what you want me to do. Okay, there's nothing I could do to change that. If it's messing up your situation, then that's on you." And I was like, "Really, Bumpy? Not really though, right?" So, moving on from there, Mamie was just looking at her, whatever the case may be, right? And now we have, Malcolm and the doctor still continuing to talk, about the separation, about how things are in America. He was like, the white men in your country no longer enslave you physically, but the shackles still remain on your body and remain in your heart. And so Malcolm was like, yeah, basically, he was like, it's invisible. And so he was just basically teaching him that Allah delivers us from all different types of bondage, those that we see and things that we don't see as well. And so, Malcolm is like, praise Allah. And so he's definitely giving him different perspectives in different ways than he's been used to while he's in America, been in America versus going there. And he's telling him that he believes that, his journey here has already started, and that it's going to be a whole bunch of different things that he's going to learn. In the meantime, when he got up to pray, Malcolm was saying, well, we usually do that separate. We would not pray with the white Muslims, but he watches him as he pray, and you can see that he's definitely starting to think differently. Now, in the meantime, Chance and Nat come and tell them about this messed up hit, and of course Bumpy goes off. You mean to tell me y'all messed this up? Is no way in the daggone world. They telling him it ain't no excuse. They like, we so sorry. He says, get the heck up out of my damn face. They tell them they messed up. They period, point blank, right? And so he was like, and he saw your face, and he's like, yeah. But before they leave, they turn back and say, yeah, we messed up the hit. Is no denying that. But there's something more to this story. It's not making sense. This man was not no military man. He wasn't no assassin. We know how people from the streets and people that's in that type of life are. And Bumpy was like, what you mean? He was like, it's something that Jose Battle is holding back from you that he's not telling you. And I don't know why he would lie. He was like, he looked shook. Okay. He looked shook, and he kept being jumpy and looking all around. He was like, don't get me wrong. Anybody is going to be scared when they looking down the barrel of a gun, but he didn't carry himself like somebody that was used to being into some wars and fights and different stuff like that, right? He was like, the way that he looked at me was like he never had a gun pointed at him before. So it was like, why would Jose Battle be lying about why he wanted this daggone God done? Okay, so we really thinking about this now. Now, Bumpy tries to, go back and talk to him and find out why he would be lying. In the meantime, Mamie is at the office, and she's basically like, Dad, now they done wrote this hit piece on her, and the whole little voting ad that they wanted is mad small, but the piece on her is real big, and it's saying how she's, taking illegal money, she's disrupting everything, so of course she's upset about this. We got Malcolm writing Betty a letter saying how he's never seen things like what he's seeing now, and the doctor comes and tell him that his case is going to be considered tomorrow, so he like, oh, okay, cool. And Malcolm actually gets up and says to the doctor, I hope you have not found me to be disrespectful. I hope you know that I appreciate you and the hospitality that you have shown me since I've been here, And he tells him a story about being a little boy and his father being taken out by these white men, and of course being put on the train tracks and split in half, and his mother going into a psych ward and not even recognizing him, later in life, and that, he has never had a white man treat him the way that the doctor has. And so the doctor is telling him when you go out tomorrow on your visit or whatever, you will see that it's going to be Muslims of all different colors, and they are going to treat you as a brother as I do. And so again, this is something, a completely different perspective than Malcolm is used to getting. He says there is no skin color. There's only human beings and faith in God. All right. Now, we basically get Bumpy have this sit down with Jose Battle where he's like, yo, why the heck are you lying to me? No, I'm sorry. Before that even happens, Bumpy gets some info, okay? He calls in a favor and he's like, nah, this guy got to be looked into. Something ain't right. Something ain't, smelling right in the milk. So he gets info and an address, and they're like, here's the thing. There's nothing coming up on this guy. No jobs, no social security numbers, no nothing. He was like, from the way that this is set up, there's only one place that this person could come from, and that is the CIA. I said, not the CIA. Okay, what's really going on here, right? There's no type of recent history, back history, nothing. And that only means one thing. So Bumpy is like, huh? Okay, let me go check this out for myself, right? Don't send somebody else to do what you need to do. So at this point, he goes and meet up with Jose Battle and have a sit down and say, why did you lie to me? Why are you telling me now what's not going on? Oh, well, some things I can't tell you fully because it's not your business. It's for your protection so that you won't be included into certain things. And he's like, if you can't do what you promised that you would do, and if I can't trust you, then this partnership will end. And Bumpy is basically asking him, is this some kind of test? And Battle says, call it what you want to call it, but if you don't do what I asked you to do and get rid of this guy, then I know where we stand. So I said, come on now, Battle. Now you playing damn games, okay? Now, in the meantime, Mamie and Elise sit down and have another talk, and Mamie is saying that for the first time ever, she is questioning Bumpy and feeling resentful with him, and she's never felt that way before. And Elise is saying, this is my father. I could not choose him to be my father, whatever the case may be. And Lord knows the ways that I have felt about him at different times, but I have grown to understand him and accept him and love him for who he is anyway. She also tells Mamie, like, you doing good work. What you doing is really making a difference. So don't stop, hold on, and keep doing it. And so I love, like I said, how we see in their relationship grown. She's sitting here helping her pack her suitcase because Elise is still supposed to be going to Africa, and she's basically saying how she's excited because she's never left Harlem. She's never seen the world. This is her chance, and she's encouraging Mamie and just trying to give her like a little bit of sense of peace amongst the chaos. Now, Bumpy is all dressed in black, honey. He dressed in black. He waiting at this address. He see the guy going in. He got his gloves and stuff on. He makes sure he turn his back when the cops is passing. And he creep on up to this room. And when he get inside, he's saying, wait a minute, what the heck is going on? Homeboy is in the shower, whatever. And we finding out he a reporter. We seeing all these different news articles that he got wrote where he's been watching Jose Battle, and he got something that he's actually working on that's in the typewriter now. And so he's like, who the heck are you, when he come out the bathroom? And Bumpy is basically like, that's what I want to know. I want to know who the heck are you? I got the same question. So he go ahead and take him out. Now, in the meantime, we got this dinner with Columbo and Damn Stella. Just a little back and forth with them where he's still telling her, you got to trust me. I know what you thinking. He over here trying to get her to have a toast with him with this wine. She's saying she don't drink. And he's like, you don't drink or you don't want to drink. And at this point, she's like, what's really the difference? And he was like, I just want to know if you bullcrapping me. So he's just still telling her that he has a debt that he can't repay with her father. And he's going to make sure that he pays it back. But I'm like, child, you don't know Stella, honey. So Columbo, watch your back. I wonder how he going to feel when all the tea spills out. Now, in the meantime, Mamie over here trying to give her resignation, and Adam Clayton don't want to accept it. He like, are you the crazy? You the best thing that happened to these kids, to this foundation? He was like, no, that's taking the easy way out. You are a fighter. We always fight. What is this foolishness with you wanting to give your resignation? He's like, I'm not going to accept that. Hell to the no. We got Bumpy bringing the daggone so-called reporter back to Columbo to ask him what's really good. And the reporter trying to tell, Bumpy that, hey, casualties happen in war, right? If they die, they die. Like, that's just a part of it. So We see that in Mecca, just like the doctor told Malcolm, he's getting to see it firsthand, where we have every color walking through, all coming to praise God, in this holy land, and him just having a sense of peace and having a big smile on his face, where he's seeing that all of these roads lead to, you know, things that can change for the younger generation, right? He could see the handwriting on the walls that they could turn around and actually have a path to a spiritual truth. And, in the meantime, Bumpy's over here bringing the guy to battle, and he's saying like, oh, I didn't want to involve you in certain things, but it's like, you are involving me if you asked me to freaking do this. And so he tells him, let me show you something. And when they go in the back room, is a room that's full of guns and everything, that he's been getting from the CIA. And so Bumpy is like, it's all starting to make sense now. He was like, that's where you got the M16s from too. And he told him, yeah, baby, first edition, okay, right off the press, is hot and new, okay. So he was like, these is the things, government issue. These is the things that's going to help us with our fight against the Italians or whatever, right? And he says, when we get our new shipment. And so Bumpy was like, yeah, but you basically helping, and he says, well, you think it's foolish for me to go against, for me to fight for my homeland? And Bumpy said, nah, you help me fight for Harlem. That ain't the problem. I just don't trust the damn CIA, okay? And so he tells Bumpy, that's your choice. You ain't got to trust them. But when it's all said and done, I'm sure Joe Colombo won't have a problem with where these guns came from, all right? And so when Bumpy go walking out, he's telling him, like, you still have a promise to keep to me. And Bumpy says, I'm a man of my word. Turns around and shoots that daggone reporter. Pop, pop goes the weasel right on the spot. Because, Joe Battle was saying, are we partners or not? And so after he shoot him, they just look, and Bumpy go walking up the steps and tell him, I kept my word, but you better keep yours. So what do you guys think that this relationship is going to be, honey? We see that Malcolm is getting down on his knees now and praying with the good doctor. He has decided that, it's okay for a black Muslim and a white Muslim to unite. Child, what y'all think this relationship with Bumpy and Battle gonna be? I don't think it's gonna be what he thought it was gonna be. But now, like Bumpy said, he better keep his word or he gonna see. It's gonna end up being something going down with them instead of the daggone Italians. I don't know, y'all. But put it in the comments. Let's discuss this episode. Tell me what y'all thought about it, what you liked, what you didn't like. Let's get into it. Anything that I left out, put it down in the comments. Let's talk about it there. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you were so inclined, give me a wave. Let me know you came by. Put some flames up in the sky. Till next time, y'all. Tula.